That's when my hair coach started noticing.
Looks good, Dad.
With this new extra strength for men, they say 45% more hair is the average. I think I'm going to beat that.
Every Sunday, I got 60,000 friends staring at my head, so more hair is a big win.
The new Rogaine, 45% more hair.
I mean, consider the alternative.
Back in Honolulu, some of the AFC stars resting in the cool zone. John Randall, one of those unrestricted free agents we were talking about earlier.
Giants Mike Strahan also here today. 14 sacks. Giants coming off a rebound season, winning the NFC East. Stirred up quite a commotion in the Big Apple.
2 minutes to go. Second down and 10. The AFC defending here as the NFC with Gifford at the controls at the 35-yard line. And Frank guns it over the middle. A lot of action going on, but incidental contact all over the place. Aaron Glenn covering Chris Carter on the play. Looked like a street play.
Right in front of the official, and that certainly appeared like it could have drawn a flag. They were both going at it. Top of your screen, 81 Chris Carter, Aaron Glenn, 31. Little pushing, little shoving on the part of both of them, and no flag. A little more liberal here in the Pro Bowl than you would find in a regular season game.
Not quite as tight. Again, that thing took so long because there was absolutely no pass rush coming from the AFC at all. And as you can tell, the wind is really starting to pick up and really swirling down on the field.
Third down and 10. And Dilfer nearly sacked, but escapes, then throws, and it's caught by Mike Allstott. One Tampa Bay butt finds the other. He takes it to the 13 and a first down. Dilfer escaping the clutches of Bruce Smith.
Yeah, Mike Allstott, he looks and runs and looks for people that try to tackle him like a throwback football player. He is huge and strong.
And the last guy to make it back to the line of scrimmage is Bruce Smith, who can't believe that he goes right over the top of Trent Dilfer. That does not happen very often, where Bruce Smith has a clean shot at a quarterback. He still hasn't made it back to the huddle yet. And you see him tapping his chest going, that's mine. I had him and I didn't get it done.
Lynn Swann. Lynn.
Well, Al, I'm sitting on the bench with Terrell Davis. And Terrell, has it settled in yet? Have things calmed down for you after the Super Bowl?
No, not yet. I think this game is it's a reminder of the long season that I've played. I think it's really going to set in once I get home and relax and get away from football entirely.
Now, everybody's talking about the fact you went out of the ball game, the migraine headache. What they may not realize is that they put you back in that ball game to help John Elway run that play action fake for a touchdown, and you could barely see.
Right, they put me back in there. And Mike's point was that the play wouldn't work without me. Because they realized that, if I'm not in the game, more than likely we're not going to run it. So I had to go back in there whether I couldn't see or not. And the play worked for us, so I didn't mind that.
Well, Terrell, the NFC just scored another touchdown, so you got a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah, we do. But I think the AFC, we have to resolve the comeback. So in the second half, it's going to be ours.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Lynn, and as you were interviewing Terrell Davis, it was Dorsey Levens of the Green Bay Packers escaping what should have been a Chester McLaughlin tackle and then taking it into the end zone.
Breaks it back to the inside. And Levens, who had a great year, over 1,400 yards for Green Bay, 190 of those against Dallas, prances into the end zone.
And the AFC defensive team can say, we have met the enemy, and it's us. Bruce Smith missing the tackle and allowing a long completion to Allstott, and another missed tackle, and they pay the price.
And Jason Hansen bangs it through to make it 21-7.
Levens, another unrestricted free agent, coming up in a few days. Had a superb year for Green Bay.
Well,
there's another missed tackle, and then the cutback and the sprint to the end zone.
Remember, Dorsey got his shot because Edgar Bennett got hurt in the preseason for the Packers, and there's Lesley Visser.
Well, Al, he's just catching his breath as he's done all year. Another touchdown, Dorsey. What about that play?
It was something I've never seen before. It's just, you got to come out here and improvise. Anything goes.
Tell me, how has your team rebounded from the Super Bowl loss?
It's still tough. We're still thinking about it. It's going to take a while, but somehow we have to overcome it.
And what about for you? Is it unlikely the Packers will keep both you and Edgar Bennett?
I think it's unlikely, but hopefully we can get something done and I'm almost sure one of us is going to be there next year. I'm not sure which one, though.
Can you see yourself in either a Jacksonville or Miami or Chicago uniform, or likely Green Bay?
It was tough. I'm so used to that green and gold. That's where I want to be. It's tough, but like I said, anything can happen.
Well, just one final thing. Which is better for your social life, being on Oprah or being here?
Definitely being on Oprah.
Thanks, Dorsey. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Lesley. He was on Oprah, and Mark Chmura, one of his teammates for the Green Bay Packers. And I guess they were talking about single athletes, and the next thing you know, he had about 1,000, at least quasi-marriage proposals.
But if you're a bachelor and you want to draw some interest, he's definitely in the right economic strata.
He certainly is.
To draw some interest. And if you talk about the Green Bay Packers and faced with a dilemma to either keep Edgar Bennett or Dorsey Levens, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is you're looking at a healthy Dorsey Levens, and you're looking at Edgar Bennett trying to come back from Achilles surgery, and it's you know, it's not an easy proposition facing Ron Wolf and Mike Holmgren.
Dorsey Levens just moving into his prime. Just finished his 4th season.
Fielded by Eric up to the 27. Speaking of Mike Holmgren, you've got a lot of stuff swirling right now about did Seattle call Green Bay? Was permission granted or not granted? A lot of talk about whether Holmgren would have considered an opportunity to go to the Seahawks as the coach and general manager, but that appears to be a dead issue right now.
And I think it's safe to say that Mike Holmgren wishes it would have turned out differently just in the way it was handled. It was awkward. It made everybody a little uneasy, I think, in not knowing what both parties, all three parties rather, were trying to accomplish. It ended up with a he said, I said.
From the 27, Bledsoe throws, and that's incomplete up at the 33. A reminder at the half, as soon as the gun sounds, the $1 million attempt by Dennis Crawford. He'll have one shot from the 25-yard line. That means a 35-yard field goal. After that, the Toyota halftime report. Salt and Pepper, they're here, and they'll be performing at halftime, and we'll have a few comments at the half as well. With the NFC on top, 21-7.
Think saliva is a little tough to come by for Dennis.
I think so.
I imagine that his tongue is starting to stick to the roof of his mouth right about now. Getting ready for that $1 million stroke. Just think, Al, $1 million. Could you put one right down the middle of the fairway?
Especially if we get a timeout.
You know, that would tighten your swing up a little bit, wouldn't you?
Lynn down there looking for a timeout with Warren Moon. 41-year-old Warren Moon. Been to Pro Bowls with Houston and Minnesota and Seattle. We'll see him coming up a little later on.
Jason Hansen, you see walking on the NFC sideline. He's been working with Dennis Crawford. Maybe he'll have a last-minute bit of advice.
3rd and 10. Flag. This is a free play as Bledsoe loses the ball. His arm was coming forward at the 14-yard line. Robert Porcher of the Lions comes up with the ball.
And this was offsides on the NFC, so this is really going to be a big plus for the AFC here.
Offside, defense, number 56, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's Chris Dolman who was offside.
Ooh, that was really a nice job of stripping that ball out of there and then recovering it himself. And that's a play that could have really opened this game up for the NFC, up 21-7. They would have had outstanding field position.
Now Bledsoe on 3rd and 5 with a swing pass caught in the flat by Kimball Anders, and Anders loses the football at the 43-yard line. It's recovered at the 46 after the hit by Jesse Tuggle by the NFC.
Well, did you see Warren Sapp chasing that play? All 300 pounds of him. Penetrated and then pursued after it, was in on the stop.
Lee Woodall recovered it. Tuggle created it.
And the answer is yes, I did, Frank, and he's remarkably fast.
Oh.
I would not have thought a guy that big could get it moving like that.
We haven't seen that much of him, but that was awesome. Warren Sapp is 6'2" and 288 pounds. He looked like a scatback.
All right, back to Lynn Swann. Lynn.
Wow, you were talking about Green Bay and Holmgren, and Seattle seems to want him, but there's some confusion. What do you know about this, Warren?
Well, I know that we are interested in him, and there's been a lot of speculation about who's going to be the new general manager there. There's talk about a new coach, and that's why I'm kind of waiting for the dust to settle on everything before I decide what I'm going to do.
So you still think there's still interest on the part of Seattle for Holmgren?
I'm really not sure, but you hear all the speculation in the newspaper. I haven't really talked to anybody in the organization about it yet, but I know at the end of the season they said they were going to look for a general manager. If they found the right guy, they'd probably try and sign one, but thus far they haven't gotten the guy they want.
You're 41 years old. You want to come back and play another year. That's going to impact maybe a decision about your career.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm waiting to see exactly what happens up there because I want to see how I fit into the new plans, if there are any new plans. But if we stay with the way that things are, status quo, I'd love to be back.
And I'd love to see you for another year. Take care, Warren.
Thanks a lot, Lynn.
All right, thank you, Lynn. As Rob Moore had that pass attempt broken up by James Hasty on the prior play, and this one intended for Chimura as Dilfer goes down. And that's a very weird situation in Seattle. In the meantime, I mean, Dennis Erickson is half twisting in the wind. He is still the coach. Tom Donahoe apparently interviewed for the general manager's job. Tom has done a great job with Pittsburgh, but he is staying with Pittsburgh. Now you've got the Holmgren thing happening, and even Warren Moon, who should be in the loop, admits that he doesn't know what's really happening.
What's your pipeline to Dallas?
Well, apparently everybody knows that the three candidates at the moment are Terry Donahue, the ex-UCLA coach, George Seifert, the ex-49er coach, and Sherman Lewis is interviewed twice. Then there's a report there's a mystery candidate, but Dallas apparently in the next at least 48 hours will name its coach. 3rd down and 10 as Dilfer again escapes a sack. And then out of the pocket throws out of bounds and incomplete.
But Al, you mentioned that there's a glaring difference here. Dallas does not have a coach, and Dennis Erickson is the coach of the Seattle Seahawks, and there is an awful lot of open speculation about replacing him, and right now you have to wonder how effective can he be. I would imagine Dennis would like to see some decision and some decision made quickly. And that's one of the things I think that Mike Holmgren probably would like to do over, openly talking about a job held by another guy.
4th down and 10 as Turk kicks into the wind, and it's fair caught at the 16-yard line by Eric Metcalf with 32 seconds remaining in the half. Look at Waikiki Beach and the hotels, most of which were constructed in the late 60s and early 70s during the building boom.
There was about 30 minutes of cloud cover this morning, which was the only hint of clouds that we've seen here in the last week. Chamber of Commerce weather.
For the Chamber of Commerce, good news. And the renewal of the Pro Bowl, it will be returning here. They have put so much into it over the years. This being the 28th Pro Bowl between the AFC and the NFC teams.
Been here since 1980, and Bledsoe guns it deep downfield and incomplete. Andre Rison blanketed by Aeneas Williams. I think one of the smartest things the league did was come over here in the first place back in 1980, because and you still have some players who skip the Pro Bowl, let's face it, who could play but don't play in any given year, but fewer and fewer since the game moved to Hawaii.
A lot of pressure from the families to make the trip. It's a fun experience. And Mike, yes, he's getting a little refreshment there. That things were getting a little dry.
The cotton was forming.
Dennis Crawford getting ready for his $1 million kick.
2nd down and 10. Whoops. Well, the one thing that's apparent is that with this wind picking up, and normally a swirling wind, if anything, it's blowing as we look at the field left to right, and that is the direction in which Crawford will kick.
False start, offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Quick report, Lesley Visser. Les.
Al, this man, you might have made a case for him being MVP of the Super Bowl if the Packers had won. Mark Chimura. Mark, what have you talked to Brett about since the game?
Just really about the game. We all know Brett. He likes to take a little more on his shoulders than he needs to, and I just tell him we got something to shoot for next year.
And what about for you? Do you think if you were to lose Mike Holmgren, would Sherm Lewis be the one you'd all want as coach?
I think so. I think that'd be the logical replacement. We'd hate to lose Sherm to another team. So, in one way, it'd be great to keep him with us because guys love playing for him.
Whole league will be watching. Thanks, Chewy. Back to you, Al.
All right, Lesley. Eddie George is the ball carrier, and the AFC is content, I think, to run off the clock here. And that means one Dennis Crawford from Cleveland, Tennessee, will attempt to become America's next millionaire. Wife and daughter looking on. And last year, a lot of the players remained out on the field to see what would happen. Lance Alstott was successful in his kick last year, and now Dennis Crawford will tee it up at the 25 to attempt a 35-yard field goal.
And Jason Hansen is going to meet him out there.
Cleveland, Tennessee will attempt to win $1 million by kicking a 35-yard field goal into Hershey's $1 million kick. And now, here's ABC's Al Michaels.
And we're on in the stadium as well, and Dennis Crawford of Cleveland, Tennessee, about ready to try to duplicate the feat of Lance Alstott last year. The players remain on the field, and momentarily he will try to become a millionaire.
Little scary. Dennis getting some last words of encouragement from Neil Smith. Neil, you don't know anything about kicking. Let the guy go.
Gary Lane and his crew have remained on the field, and they will determine if the kick is good or not. Wife Tina, daughter Lindy looking on.
Players from the NFC to the right, AFC to the left. This isn't making it any easier for Dennis. You can do it.
Dennis Crawford. Good luck, Dennis. It is long enough. Whoa. It is good.
That would have been good at 50.
$1 million. Dennis Crawford.
Dennis Crawford of Cleveland, Tennessee, $1 million. A trip to Hawaii, little doubt about this one. Had the distance easily and right down the middle.
Congratulations to Jason Hansen, who was his coach, getting him ready for this. And Frank, you were right. That kick would have been good from another 10 or 15 yards away.
And the exultant Dennis Crawford knew it right away. Gets a hug from Neil Smith, and let's meet America's newest millionaire with Lynn Swann.
Al, I'm with Dennis, and he's got his daughter in his hands. She was a little shocked, I think, Dennis, with all the attention you got for that $1 million kick.
A lot of yelling going on for her. She can't believe it, Lindy. It's okay, baby.
I have to ask you one question. Neil Smith walked up to you. He is not a kicker. He doesn't know anything about kicking. What did he tell you?
I just asked him if he wanted to do it. But he said just put it between the two yellow posts. That's all he said.
Well, you did a superb job. That would have been good, I think, from about 35 yards away.
Well, thank you, Lynn. Appreciate it. I still can't believe all this.
It'll sink in.
It's amazing.
Especially when you pay the taxes.
Really? Thanks a lot.
Al?
All right, thank you, Lynn. Poor Lindy, a little scared by all of the commotion, but it's a happy commotion. As Dennis Crawford kicks one for $1 million. And back we come after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
There's a smile in every Hershey bar.
How geologist Ted Barton eats a Reese's Crunchy Cookie Cup.
First, I take a core sample. Next, I examine the strata. And then I digest the findings.
Chocolate, peanut butter, and a cookie. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.